Right.
I think equality is a good thing, but
Mhm.
when you start doing special privileges,
Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Tim.
All right, let's pull the pin, guys.
Thanks for the invite, guys.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. How's it going, Tim?
Been one long day, but it's all right. Long days are okay.
That's right. Hey, I wanted to talk about this gender equity, executive order, equality stuff going on today. You guys hear about that?
Is it part of the stimulus package?
No. Well, yeah.
Well, that's another topic.
It could be, but yeah, it's just that we touched on it a little bit in a previous show. Remember, Tim? And I said, hey, that'd be a good topic for. And then he goes and signs the damn executive orders, so that helps him out, right? But I don't know. I can't remember exactly what you said, Tim. If you can remember about the laws and everything.
Yeah, we were talking about special privileges.
Right.
I think equality is a good thing, but when you start doing special privileges, like just because I could identify as an Apache helicopter, does that mean I get to fire off missiles?
Right.
I mean,
I think if you can carry them, you should be allowed to.
Okay. I mean, if you identify as a different gender, okay, that doesn't mean you get to go beat women in track. I mean, that's just not right.
Right. Well, what I like about that, and keeping it on the context of that competition mode, I see a lot of schools, especially like in high school, they're combating against that now.
Until the federal government overrides them.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But
it's sad.
To me, it's going to take a lot for them to override that.
But it's sad because you think of all the time it took for women to get their own sports, to build up that, where we can play competitive too, and all that, and it's just being wiped out. Like we might as well just do away with all sports and make it all co-ed, and then see how many women can compete.
Yeah, it's not right.
And then these trans people changing or associating, then they'll fall right back to where they belong anyway. As far as level.
They're talking about putting them into the Olympics
for a special event.
For events,
right? Their own events.
Well, the Russians have always used lots of steroids and other things to make their women look very masculine.
Yeah.
However, they're talking about letting these trans individuals compete against women.
See that if they were competing against trans people, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's what you're doing with it, Tim.
Yeah, we can let midgets have their own Olympics. We can let all kinds of different groups.
Well, the Trans Olympics, I think, would be fine. You want to have the Trans Olympics, go for it.
Right.
But I don't think that you compete against women in women's Olympics or women's college or women's high school.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why they going against the women. If you want to compete, why don't you go against the men?
They can win.
Well,
okay.
And you think about that.
They have those, okay. They have those certain qualities that men have more than women.
No, Mike, that's science.
Oh, okay.
It is science. I mean, men are more muscular than a woman.
Yeah. But what we're saying right here is when you have a man who wants to identify as a woman. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. How would you feel once the process is complete?
I don't think it changed you physiologically.
It's still the same thing.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I mean, it changes some anatomy.
Right.
Just because
but eunuchs have that same change, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, okay. Right. All right.
Just because you're a potato head, now you can't be Mr. or Mrs. You're still a potato, right?
Okay, I said I can't go anywhere else with that. Now you just broke it down. Talk about science. You really broke that down there, Jim. But on another note, Tim, when you were talking before, you said something about having like special privileges or special legislation for certain groups. And it reminded me of I can't man. If we talked about it back then, I would remember, but it was man. Yeah, it's an old movie, Broken Arrow, I think it was.
Brokeback Mountain?
Brokeback Mountain?
No, Jesus, guys. But
we came up with that quick too, didn't we? Like, that's on my favorites list.
I think it was Broken Arrow.
That was John Travolta, wasn't
it? Yes.
Nuclear weapons?
Yes. Okay. And the guy in there said, I don't know if it's bad that we have this weapon or that we lost the weapon or that we have a term for when we lose this weapon. He said,
right.
Yeah. So it's like, wow. So that just, I don't know why it made me think of it back then, but where I'm going with it is we live in a country where everyone is supposed to be equal. Mm-hmm. But if you really look at it, everyone is not. So I think it's bad that we have to have special legislation to stop people like Jim from treating people like me wrong.
Well, that's true. I don't think there should be special legislation for that. But we all have different abilities and different disabilities, if you want to look at it.
Right.
Mike, you would kick my butt on a basketball court. Right or wrong?
No.
No?
Look at the man. He can barely hold a ball.
I cannot dribble a basketball. And if I wanted to go to the NBA, I would never get to the NBA.
Right.
And being what is a white men, 65% of the population, maybe 80% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
If it was equality, wouldn't it be 80% white men in the NBA?
True.
But it's not, because everybody has different abilities. And if you work at a sport like basketball, there's not a lot of basketball courts in white neighborhoods. There's not. We don't play basketball. We play baseball.
Hockey.
Well, I'm from North Carolina. We didn't see any hockey.
All right.
Jim tried. He tried.
Yeah. He tried. But we did a lot of baseball. We did a lot of football. I don't think my high school had a basketball team. I don't know. Maybe they did. I mean, this was the 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
Maybe they did. We just weren't very good at it. I know that.
Did they have high school back then?
Did they have high school back then?
We just worked on the farm. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, why do you think it was such a change? Because, just going back to the 60s or whatever, sports, major leagues were predominantly white.
Yes, they were.
So why do you think there was a change?
I think physical ability.
Really?
I think so.
The physical ability was always there, though. It didn't just happen in the 60s or whenever, just throwing decades.
True.
Up. Yeah. So would you agree that it changed once the playing field was leveled?
Once it was open, right?
Once it was open. Right. Once it was open, yes, I agree.
Okay.
Once it was open. But I believe it changed because of physical ability.
Absolutely. So that's where, and it didn't just become open. Something had to happen for it to be open.
True.
You get what I'm saying? It's not like, a better in shape Mike James back in the day, right? He just went there and said, "Hey, I can play basketball. I'm playing on the Boston Celtics." That it didn't happen. There had to be some type of legislation.
Jackie Robinson,
right? Yeah. Something had to happen for the playing field to be leveled.
Yes.
So a lot of people would say when you have these type, and I think we're in agreement with the transgender thing, competing in sports. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of legislation needed to kind of like equal the playing fields out there.
So what do you want to make?
Talking about sports, I'm just talking about in general.
So in general, what do you want to do with transgenders?
That's a.
Well, Mike, let me bail you out.
I gotta answer this question. He asked me a question. I have to answer.
I was going to bail you out. But...
Yeah, because my whole thing is Tim made he posed a question like I got a whole bunch in my hand. What do I want to do with them? You know what I mean? But no,
maybe
you don't. You have a very small group.
Yeah, but that's why I said, and I agree with you guys. If you had a transgender Olympics or transgender league, or hey, you want to change, that's fine. But this is what we see you as when you want to compete. You got to compete against the men, and that's what, keep it in context. That's what we're talking about right now. Men changing over to be women, and they want to compete with women.
Right.
To me, that's different than you should be able to go in the bathroom or something like that. It's just totally different to me.
The argument is the science. That's the argument. If you believe the science that men are men and women are women, and they're built like that, then that's the argument.
And I think it's more than the science is more than just genitals.
Yes.
There's a lot more to a woman than genitals. There's a lot more to a man than genitals.
Right. And because like I was saying, is like if you take another group, and I just joked about them earlier, like midgets. Like, do we keep midgets from playing basketball? No, right?
No. They're
allowed to go sign up and play, right? Nobody has to make special legislation to make sure every team has a midget on its team, right? So they play. They're just not built for the game.
Right.
So if they can shoot 3-pointers from all day out there without any problem, they'd probably have a spot on the team. I just don't know if they'd be dunking much. But my point being, so transgenders are physically capable in their realm to do whatever they're capable of doing. But to cross over and pretend you're something else so that you can now compete and then expect special rules to make you or to make people have you on their team and compete, that's a little ridiculous. That's taking it to the extreme opposite. Or am I losing you?
I agree.
I agree also, and it pains me to say that. I just didn't want to agree. I wanted to just disagree just because it's you, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, damn it.
Now, if I like big butts, should I get special privileges?
If you like big butts, should you get special privileges?
Yeah, because of my sexuality, should I get special treatment?
Yeah, but where's the special treatment in that?
Well,
because you do get, if you got big butts, you do get special treatment.
You got a lot to choose from because
if you
America
get big
is
butts, I say if you like big butts.
Yeah, I know.
We have a very obese country here, so you do get special treatment.
If I tell a woman that I like her butt, I think I'm going to be court-martialed, correct? For sexual harassment?
Yeah, now probably, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Back then, Mike used to get away with it all the time.
Jeez.
PDA, no PDA.
Yeah. I only got away with it twice. No, just joking. But it takes me back to the if you're looking at Tim and let's say you and I, Tim, right? When you have legislation for either one of us, to me that's telling, because it just means that going for whatever we're going for, the playing field was not equal.
Okay.
It wasn't leveled for us. So then government steps in and says, hey, can't do this. And it's I can't say good friend of mine because we're no longer in contact back when I was at FedEx. But this guy, he said he believes in affirmative action. He said that's a much needed policy, if you will, that desperately needs to go away.
I would agree. I think affirmative action had its place. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I agree that it needs to go away. After the Air Force, I started working for GT Government Systems. I was an instructor for the Army. We did fielding of MSC equipment. And when the contract was up, because Bill Clinton canceled it a little early and said, we're not going to do it anymore, we never finished fielding all the equipment. when GTE was looking at government contracts in the future, all the white guys were let go.
Huh?
All the white guys were laid off. They kept African Americans, they kept Hispanic Americans, they kept women.
Oh, to make it a minority?
Because they were looking at government contracts in the future.
Yeah.
So I was denied a job because of my race and gender.
Mm.
Now, I found a way. I went and found another job.
That's because you're white.
That's it. Because I'm white.
I think he hit the nail on the head with that, Jim. Thank you.
No, I mean you found another job because you're white.
Oh.
So I think it definitely had its place. Absolutely. I think the past was very horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I think sometimes they go above and beyond what they need to be doing.
Mm.
It's the pendulum thing. It's the pendulum. You if you want to fix a right, you don't swing it all the way to the left. That's not how you fix a right. If you want fair and equality, you just make it fair and equality. You don't just swing it the other way and say, okay, now you guys get all the advantages to make things even. It doesn't work like that. And it'll never work like that.
But that's the way it always works.
It's like taking away like your two kids are fighting over a toy and one kid takes both toys. You can't take both toys from the one kid and give them both to the other kid and say, now you're equal. You suffer now while you prosper. That's not how it works. Equality is you both get a toy and now you both do whatever the heck you want to do.
Hmm. And you think that's happened in our country?
Well, I think affirmative action did that. And I'm not saying I don't agree with that. It swung it to the other way to give people who were excluded access, a chance to get in the line, in the front of the line actually, and establish themselves. Now, at a certain point, that's got to end because you've had an opportunity to establish yourself.
Okay.
If you didn't take it.
What point though? You said at a certain point that's got.
I don't know if I can determine that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I can determine that. But at some point, you just can't leave it like that. Because that is a special privilege now, as opposed to letting everybody, earn their own ways as equals. You understand? Like I said, how they always do the pictures of the ladder and well, now that they're both on the ladder, you let them both rise to the top. And if it's still offset, what are you going to do? Add another ladder? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Okay. What would you guys say to this? And this is a true story. I'm talking to a program manager. And he tells me, he said, man, I wanted to talk to you about something, but I don't know how to bring it up. And I say, hey, we talk about anything. And he mentions how he's on the phone with a recruiter and it was with a particular company. And he inquired about a certain position. It was in South Carolina. And she said, oh, yeah, those positions are coming available. Why don't you send me your picture, so I can see if you meet our profile?
Is it a sales position? Is it a waitressing position?
No, it's friends only. Friends or friends only. What is it called?
Yeah.
Then no, that's completely wrong.
Yeah, but see, that's what a lot of people argue is like once you take that away, that affirmative action will just resort back to those methods again. You get what I'm saying? So that's where like, man, I say
but you know what the problem with that is, Mike, though? Your problem with that is that's under the assumption that white people still own everything. You've got black.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone says that, but I'm saying white people own the majority.
Well, white people are the majority, but that doesn't mean that the black people can't be successful. They are. So there's not like that we have no options. If you take away affirmative action, it's not like, oh, our options are all gone. What do us black guys get to do now? That's not the case.
Right.
Maybe it might lower your chances if you're going with every white person is racist. If that's your principle, that every white company's racist and they're not going to hire me because I would say
half the white guys on this show.
Right. Well, that's true. Probably
today.
And definitely one of the black people. Definitely one of the black people on this show is an extreme racist. So you understand what I'm saying? Is that's going on an assumption that number one, you're never going to get a job because everybody's white that owns a business, and that you can't get. So the affirmative action allowed to level the playing field, and now black businesses can hire black people. They can grow and they can even take over businesses that are competitors.
Okay, so you're saying right now that you believe the playing field is equal, is leveled.
I would need more.
I need more information. Really, I haven't really looked into it that deep. But
I mean,
take a wag at it.
I'm going to say yes.
We cannot say whether or not it's leveled. It's just from our viewpoint, you know.
My viewpoint, right. Yes. Looking at some of the status and high profile people and money and the fact that my co-host isn't even white. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty much it's level. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if I have white privilege, if I go out in the front of my business, because I own a business, I have employees, and I put white-owned business, what would happen? You think that would draw people in?
No, they'd probably be very uncomfortable with that.
I think they'd probably egg my doors or break my windows or something. Now, if I was African-American and I put in my front of my business and put black-owned business, would that draw people in?
Probably a lot of the fragile white guilt people, yes.
I think it would draw more people in.
Wow.
I think because on Google, Google up was a couple of weeks ago. I hovered over the Google little logo at the top, and it went support black-owned businesses. Could it say support white-owned businesses? What would happen?
Yeah, no, you couldn't do that.
Yeah, couldn't do that.
And inherently, I'm not opposed to the concept of supporting black-owned business.
I'm not either.
But in your example, if someone's standing in front of a business advertising their race as the sale of that turns me off right off the bat. Like, I don't care what.
Turn you off when they support veteran-owned business?
No, because inherently I am supporting veterans. But if they have to advertise.
Got it.
Unless they're veterans, only like black veterans. No, but what I'm saying is the veterans are in their phase still of affirmative action. It's not that the veterans are selling their business, and it's not that I'm judging a veteran on a criteria that they can control. Veterans serve their country. Yeah. That is a payback to what they did that I wasn't able to do. Not that I wasn't, because I did.
Yeah.
But as a citizen, I would support them because they willing to give their life to defend my freedoms. Not that you can pin that on any race, because some race people do and some people don't.
Right.
So that's why that's different to me. I wouldn't put that in the same category, because it's like saying fat versus skinny. You know, if the fat people, would you support fat people? Those are characteristics that did nothing for me other than what the
existence is. Today I had a gentleman come in. He was Navy, ex-Navy. He's in his 60s, maybe 70s. And I gave him a 10% discount. It's a veteran discount. Okay? And I do that for all veterans. Should I give a black discount because you're black?
This is your business?
Yes, I own the business.
I mean, if you want to, just let me know. I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for Mike, it should be yes.
Do you think that would be fair?
I don't think it's fair if you give it to the veteran.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Well, I do. Before what I just said. That's a payback. Thank you for your service.
Hey, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, because I'm like,
make a horrible devil.
No. Well,
no, actually, you're right.
But no,
you make a horrible advocate.
Some people say that. Why do they get a military discount? Now I'm then treated different because I didn't serve.
You can serve.
Yes, you didn't serve.
Yeah, you can serve, and you can serve.
Discriminating against them.
No, it's not discrimination. You didn't serve.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't sacrifice anything for the better of this country, so I get to choose that I'm going to pay you back for your sacrifice. You did absolutely nothing but walk through the threshold of my door, and you think you deserve something.
Yeah, I come here to support your business.
Yes, you deserve excellent customer service, and my word that I'm going to take care of you.
About 30 seconds ago, that was the worst customer service I've ever heard.
Well, that's before I knew you were coming in my store. It's not like you deny them a service because they're not a veteran. You're not a veteran. Get out of here.
Yeah. No, it's just that some people, I'm sure you guys heard that before also, right? About how, hey, you're discriminating against people who did not serve.
Well,
I've heard that, but
I'll give you another example. AARP. I knew for the longest time I go into like a Dunkin' Donuts. You get a military discount? No. you give AARP. So as long as I get old, I can get a discount.
You survived so many years in this country, on this planet. You deserve a discount, man.
I'm not mad that they get a discount, but I'm just thinking like, so I serve my country, I sacrifice for you to operate here freely, and I have to get old. Like what?
Yeah, they don't give you both.
Right.
I try to double dip. They won't.
So I'm an old veteran. How about you, Tim? Do you get both? If I'm an old veteran?
Oh, nah. People always think I'm about 25 years old.
What people is this?
Oh, the one in the
blonde ones.
The one you married or the?
Hey, that was 25 years ago.
Or the investigators that are investigating you. It can't be him. He looks 25.
Yeah, that was 25 years ago, though. But no, I go back to I always say that it's a shame that we have to have these types of legislative processes to make the playing field equal as possible, to level it as much as possible. But I'm not one, and I think you guys know this about me, I'm not one to ask the government to come in, because like Tim said, hey, they were all fired and he made a way. I've been there before where I was let go. I can't say it was because of my race, but
you made a way.
Yeah, I made a way.
Absolutely. Right. And I think everybody has the ability to do that. Some people don't think they do.
Well, and I think the white, fragile, liberal people who think that black people need white people to help them are more racist than what they're calling people. They're the ones that are racist to think that, black people can't find a DMV to get an ID. Like, what? Are you insane? So, yeah, I think they're more racist. You
think they're more racist than you? Really?
Definitely more racist than me. Like,
as long as you admit
on a scale of 1 to 10, dude, come on.
As long as you're admitting that you're a racist, I'm good.
Right. I'm about a 1, you know what I mean? Maybe they're like an 8. So, in all honesty, like what you're talking about, like, I do believe that affirmative action had its place, because when you treat an entire group of people, I didn't care if it was, whatever the group it is, those people should have been reintegrated back into a fair playing field. And I even would have been aligned with reparations back then. They should have been given stuff to get them back into the playing field. Now, I mean, you're trying to fix a problem that's,
No, actually, there were reparations.
Were there? See, I wasn't around.
My family was born and raised in North Carolina. We've been in North Carolina for a couple hundred years. And we had property. And yes,
You don't look a day over 80.
I know. And my family had slaves. They did. Way back when. They did.
I'm out.
You're canceled.
I myself have never had a slave.
No, I
don't know. No. I do have kids.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. There you
go. But they've outgrown me now. But yeah, my family lost all their property. Their house was burned. My great grandfather and my great uncle were both shot in front of their families. They were executed by the Northern Army. And the house was burned. The property was taken. And my grandfather was actually taken into Charlotte by, I don't know if it was a church group or what, but he had absolutely nothing. Everything was taken from the family.
That's why you hate us Yankees?
Exactly.
I get it now. I get it.
Yankees.
I'm coming for your property now.
But yeah, everything was taken. So there were reparations paid. I do not have a plantation. I do not have slave quarters out back of my house.
Where do you keep them?
I got their own room.
Yeah, those reparations were paid to who?
They were paid to the United States government.
Yeah.
Yep. Imagine that.
Yep.
Oh, don't worry. We'll give it to the people who deserve it. We'll give it to people.
Yeah, carpetbaggers.
Yeah.
They were given
here, Nancy
carpetbaggers.
Pelosi. Hey, here's another pound of ice cream.
Yeah.
We found this money from Tim's property.
Wow, that's interesting to hear about that. I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I really do.
So yeah, I mean, reparations were paid. They didn't go to the people who should have got it.
Right.
They went to the government.
So once again, it goes to what Jim was talking about a little bit earlier. Was those are more racist people because hey, we're gonna do this for you, but we ain't giving it to you though. You know, we're gonna help you, but we're not gonna.
We feel for you. We feel for you.
Yeah,
we're gonna take this money from those people. We'll punish them.
Yeah,
we ain't giving it to you.
Right. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. Like I just like I see it all the time, and I see this like the white fragility, I don't know, guilt. Like
why does it have to be white guilt though? Why can't it just be like people who care for another?
Well, it could be. It could be if it's genuine. But if I cared for you, Mike, I would encourage you. I wouldn't say that, you need to go to Tim and Tim needs to pay you because you can't make it. Tim needs to give you a job because you don't stand a chance. Tim needs to hire more of you because you can't get a job. That's not caring for you. Caring for you is, Mike, I'm here to support you. Do what you need to do. If you need my support, I'm here to support you. I'm not going to do for you because that means you're not capable. And you are capable.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm thinking these people, they're more racist because they're acting like black people can't go get a driver's license or an ID, so they can't vote. Like, what?
Okay, Jim, you're getting ready to go down a rabbit hole.
All right.
Yeah.
So
when it comes to being genuine, Tim, just on the record here.
Yeah.
I believe you when you say like, yeah, Mike, you're capable. Jim, oh hell no, I don't believe it.
He is the most incompetent person I've ever had on as a guest, Tim. So thank you.
So taking it back around now, let's bring it back full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Transgender.
Oh.
We did try to get away from it.
So why do we have legislation to make it equal? What are we making equal? So they can participate in women's sports?
You asking us?
Yeah.
I gotta put up a flag or something.
Yeah. You get a rainbow one. They got them on Amazon.
No, I'm trying to change the topic again.
Yeah. So about those reparations, though, is there any chance?
No, I would say yes. No. I don't think that's the intent. Is when you're talking about competitive sports, but I think it goes back to the equal opportunity EO. They don't want anybody to treat them or discriminate against them for getting employment and things of that nature. But for them to be able to compete, I don't think that's what it's for. I don't. But like you said in the beginning, wait till the government comes in.
So if I start identifying as an Apache helicopter and just puttering around the office going, is that okay?
I'd fire your ass.
I think it is. Personally,
I'd fire your ass.
I think it is.
I would fire your ass.
You probably are carrying missiles, and I'd be a little scared that one of those missiles would go off.
But I think that two things. One, once you get once you get what do they call it? Oh man,
tenure?
No, forget it. But once
sex change, I don't know where you're going.
Once you get processed into the insane asylum and your business starts to go down, I think you'll change.
So
you might go to the A10.
Why is that insane? Where if I think I'm a woman, that's not insane.
To who?
Well, if I'm an Apache helicopter, I'm going to be put into the insane asylum.
Right.
If I just decide today I'm a woman, that's okay.
I think it's a lot more that comes with that. It's not just like a one-day thing and you have to go. I think there's a process to it. I don't know. But
if I start with just a news chopper on Mondays, then I'm good I can be an Apache by next Thursday.
But it take you about 2 weeks. I give him 2 weeks because that puttering he did was pretty good.
Yeah, he's already got the engine for it.
Yeah.
He's a Huey with an Apache engine.
I get what you're saying, Tim. And first of all, I agree. It shouldn't be as simple as you're kind of preaching to the choir, so it's kind of I'm trying to.
I know.
Well, let me ask you this: don't they already have discrimination laws? Like, aren't there already laws that exist that you cannot discriminate? So forcing people into decisions.
Yeah.
That's not a law that's equaling anything.
Right.
That's, like you said, affirmative action. That's, that's tipping the scale to the other side. So you don't get equality by taking away from somebody else and giving it to somebody else. That's not equality.
Well, you don't force. If you allow things to, okay, we're talking about transgender.
Yeah, well, just talking about anything.
Yeah, we went back to transgender. We all agree on the other stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I just think there's already laws in place that you can't discriminate against people for all the characteristics they can't or can control. I guess in this case, I don't know, but there's already laws for that. So you can't just make a new law that trumps that old law because now you want them to.
It mentions you specifically.
It mentions who?
That group.
Transgender specifically.
Yeah. Okay, but what happened? Are they not equal enough?
They're still
to
a
fit
gender.
Into the other law?
Yeah, that's what I agree with. I agree with what you're saying, and the issue is there's already a law out there, and that they fit into where it says gender. You can't discriminate.
But I'm saying, Mike, if I have a store and it says no fruit allowed, do I need to put up or oranges? Like what? It says no fruit. I don't need to make a sign that says no oranges either.
Right, I got you.
Like,
I'm right there
that
with
doesn't
you.
make sense.
I'm right there with you, Jim. I don't like this episode. I'm telling you.
So where we want to go then? We'll go somewhere else.
I'm agreeing with you here. All right, I don't like that. So I think that's where the problem comes in with what you guys are saying is there's already a law out there. Why are you basically rewriting the law for that? Now you're naming that specific group that fits into the previous law.
Right. And now you're alienating all the other people that don't have their own specific laws.
That's right.
So now you're being prejudiced against other groups like, midgets, and I like midgets. I don't know what the obsession is.
You can't use that word.
Oh, is that
They're little people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a bad word.
Please don't cancel
me. If you notice,
I am not culturally.
If you notice, I was always quiet.
That M word is like the N word. You don't use that word.
My bad.
It is.
Official apology here. I'm going to retract all comments of the M word.
Can't do it.
All right.
They're little people.
Sorry, little people. Didn't mean to offend you. I love you guys, though.
Welcome to my world, little people. 20-some years I've been dealing with this now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard worse, so I don't think,
Yeah.
I think we've all heard worse. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. So we want to pull the pin on this, or you guys?
Let's pull the pin.
All right. Well, let's pull the pin. And when, Tim, we've changed things up a little. I don't know if you've been on our episodes lately. We can pull the pin on something you just want to do away with. You can bring up a person of the week, or you can just make some angry noise or whatever you want to do.
Well, I guess I can do my Joe Biden impression. What do you want me to do? Where, yeah, that guy who works in that building over there.
Wow. Like
the Secretary of Defense.
Joint
Chiefs of Staff. I think they go by the Pentagon.
It used to be.
We forgot those words.
And he's in charge of that group that I run. That group that
No,
oh my gosh. You know what? Yes. And let me. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because my pull the pin is going to be on all these quiet snowflake liberals who voted for this guy who convinced us how terrible Trump was and how Biden was the savior. And no. Biden's not even running the country. They're trying to take away.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Nuclear responsibility. Stop. Please stop. And get a little more vocal in my feeds because I want to hear how great the country's running. You don't have to complain about Trump anymore. He's gone. Just tell me how great things are right now. That's all I want to hear from you.
Yeah, you got to give him time.
Yeah, I did.
How long?
I did.
How long?
Anywhere from 9 months to a year.
Okay. He'll be out of the office by then.
You want to know why I say that, Tim?
Because he won't be in office in 9
No, that's not why I'm saying that. No. No, because when Trump first got in office, I was in a conversation and I was very critical of him because of something he said or did. And a couple of guys, these far right guys, say, "Hey, you got to give him time." I said, "How much?" They said, "Oh, give him 9 months to a year." After that, I never got to speak to them again. It's like they were in hiding or something, you know. But anyway, that's the only reason why I said 9 months to a year.
Well, in that case, I think we need to start impeachment hearings right now for Biden because of his actions with the Ukraine and saying, I told them they couldn't get that money until they fired that prosecutor. I think we need to investigate that.
Yeah.
Let's be real, though, Mike.
That's good. That's a real good one there, Tim. Seriously.
But I want to be real with you for a second, Mike. I can probably agree with your friends because 8 to 9 months when you've never been on the job, it shouldn't take you long to adjust when you've been doing it for 47 years.
Especially if you've been vice president.
No, being vice president is different than being the president.
All right, where's the punchline?
Yeah, nobody got that.
Anyways, I don't know why we're going back into the whole conversation. Was that?
I know, right?
You got something? I pulled it on me.
It's gone.
Yes.
Hey, I want to do a person of the week.
Okay.
A lot of people like to give person of the week, or not person of the week, give praise to single mothers, single dads, single parents. I have to say, yeah, they deserve it. Because I have twins here. They're 6-year-old twins. And so Jim doesn't have to bleep out a whole bunch of words that's going to follow this. I'm going to try to keep it clean. They are, I love them. I do damn near anything for them. Before they were born, I would tell you that I would do anything for them, but no, not anymore. They're ruthless. I need help psychologically. Because 6-year-olds think they're smarter than me. They think they can do everything, and they're ruling the house, guys.
I'm sorry. Mine are 30 and 32 right now. I don't want to upset you, but just wait till they're 12, 13, and 14.
If you don't know, I am a single dad with an 11 and 14-year-old.
6 was wonderful, wasn't it?
I thought so.
He's like, now, yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Wait, do you have little adults that live in your house?
Yeah.
With the same attitude you have.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but for all you single parents out there with one child, multiple children, whatever, kudos to you.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Oh man, good Lord.
I didn't have to deal with that. My wife and I have been married for 34 years, going on 35 years. But yeah, I respect you guys.
Oh yeah, a whole lot.
So
I'm gonna say this last. Sorry, Jim. I'm gonna say this last. There's an old comedian named D.C. Curry. One joke I always remember. He talked about kids. He said that's why he believes abortion should be all the way up to 5 years old. On that note.
And that is all the time we have for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it, had fun. We hope you come back next time. Get involved. Come see us. PullThePinAlready.com. And until the next time, Godspeed.
Hey, and pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.